This has to be the cheapest McLaren that has ever been sold. I've just bought it. As long as I can remember, I've always dreamed of owning a supercar. Something which throws away the rulebook of mundane practical cars to concentrate solely on just delivering the ultimate driving experience. Now, these cars are pricey when they're new and they hold their money really well, meaning that I've never been able to afford one. A McLaren 650S on the second-hand market sells for well over £90,000, making a car like this for me quite simply out of reach. But when I found out that I could own a supercar for the same price as a brand new Vauxhall Corsa, it was an offer I just couldn't turn down. But this is no ordinary McLaren. This has possibly the worst history of any car I've ever seen, which would explain why it's so cheap. And naturally, this is a gamble, but without risk, there's no reward. And I'm just praying this doesn't turn out to be a deal that was too good to be true, because if it is, this car is basically scrap. First thoughts? Clapped. I think you might need a donor card to fix this one, yeah. Now, I don't even know at this point if this car's repairable, but if it is, there's going to be many challenges along this build. But the first one that we've got to cross is getting it off this trailer and onto a ramp somehow. Over to stealth movements. Woo! So obviously this McLaren doesn't roll and it doesn't run, and it can hardly even hold itself together because the engine is hanging out the back of it, and somehow we need to get it off of Ethan's trailer and onto my ramp. This is so bad. Oh my god.
Bring it down, strap it as tight as possible, and then just bring it off of it.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
I don't know, I feel nervous.
It's sketchy, but hey ho.
So we're going to try and put straps around the ramp and then around the wheel and lift it like that. It's going to be hairy.
Just strap her up, all four wheels, and see if it lifts.
Careful, you'll snap his valve.
Has it actually been on its roof?
I think it's been over. That's what I'm thinking.
It looks sketch, but if it works, I think we've got to accept that most of the panels and most of the wheels are bollocks.
Just go up.
Yeah, okay. Send it. Right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Get attention. Get attention.
Oh, what just happened?
Nothing, Chris, keep going. Keep going.
We got high. We got high.
Now you're fine, keep going.
With the car now in the air, all we had to do is get the trailer out of the way so we could get it back on the floor. Go on, Heath! Get out of here! My bumper! Got the bumper! Yeah, go on, you're good. Let's get it down. So to make sure that we can get the legs underneath the car, we're going to put a wheel under each corner to make sure that it's still in the air enough. So we're going to use the old Mercedes wheels, put those under each wheel of the McLaren, and hopefully we can still get under it then and the engine don't fall out the bottom. We're vaguely in the right place. I guess there's no turning back now. So, McLaren 650S, Spider. Let's give you the lowdown. Engine, 3.8 litre, twin turbo, about 650 horsepower-ish, and does 0 to 60 in about 2.9 seconds. Fast. Rear wheel drive, which makes you a lot more likely to crash it. Convertible, so I can take the roof down and listen to the engine. Honestly, I'm trying to name good stuff about this car. At this moment in time, I actually can't find much with this one. And it seems like my friends had the same feeling with this car.
It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good.
There we go. You know what that means? Doors go up, go down. Yes, you got it. But now it's time to get this car up in the air and see how broken it is. There's really not much good stuff under here. Go on. The car's moving, but this wheel isn't.
Yeah, that wheel falls off. Yeah, she's up.
Well, welcome to the new project, people. What do you reckon? Yeah, this side's interesting. Boys, I don't even know what to do.
I think we should just go all the way up. And just
Well, what about this?
The sound.
Oh, there we go. I think we may need some arms for this side.
I don't think so. I thought that's what it was meant to be, so you could change the arms quickly.
I thought that's for changing the wheel, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, I only bought this car because Mickey, when I showed it to him, I was I was really unsure, like this is bad, but Mickey was so enthusiastic about it, I couldn't not buy it off his enthusiasm for it. It's made me super excited for it, so.
Look up there, look at the mounting bolts to the tub.
So that's where the rear subframe mounts to the tub, and what we're worried about on this is because these cars have got a carbon tub, the centre of the car is made from carbon fibre, and then it's basically built like Lego around it. So everything is replaceable, but you can't really, everything else apart from that, if that tub is okay, can be bolted off and on, and it's like a easy repair.
Meccano set.
It is like Lego. Let's go. Mickey, for the enthusiasm, you can have this one. Yeah. What a guy, I just love him. So the first step is taking off this wheel and all of the suspension arms too. It came off with just one bolt which was holding it to the body. This car, from factory, because it's super high performance, needs super high performance brakes, and it came from Mclaren fitted with carbon ceramics, which are really good brakes, but they're really expensive. And as you can see, because we've got rust on the rotor here, this is not a carbon ceramic brake, so it's been swapped out from carbon ceramics to steels for cheaper maintenance and repairs, but it's definitely going to affect the braking performance. Now there's a reason why they've done that, because this car, when it was crashed, was not crashed on the road. And that's because there's a few telltale signs as to what it's been used for. We can see here, there is just a lens. There is no headlight on this, and it's been wrapped in black, which I think is an indicator of a cheap repair before for it to be used off the road on a track experience day. That's my thinking, and I think I'm right, because that's why they'll have swapped out for steels to make it cheaper to change those. And, well, there's a few of the dodgy repairs in this car. Now, I said this car had a shady past, and I meant it. So before we get to work on it, let's check out what's happened to this car previously to see why it's so cheap. Because when I found this car on Copart, I did a bit of digging and found this. Back in 2018, this car was written off and given a category S because of quite a lot of damage all over it. And although it did get repaired, and we know that because we can see it got put up for auction again, with the front bumper missing, so potentially has been crashed again here in 2019. Notice that it's still got its carbon ceramics, by the way. And then the car got put up for auction again with Copart in 2021, where it's listed as having minor dents and scratches. Not that big a deal, but take note, it is a complete car with headlights and carbon ceramics still on it, so it must have been crashed again and then bought by the Track Experience company. This would have been when they'd have put in the headlight lenses instead of headlights and replaced the carbon ceramics for steels, all to save money. So that's crash number 3, and it makes sense why they'd repair it like that. Their sole focus isn't making a car which is going to go around on the road and hasn't got to be driven at night. All it needs to do is laps and laps of the track to make them the most money possible. But when this car got crashed again for the 4th time, they must have deemed it too bad to repair, which is now when I've bought it. For you.
Thanking you.
10 mil for me. Last one. So we're not just trying to repair the most recent accident, we're trying to check the rest of the car over to make sure there's nothing hidden on there that may have been disguised from the previous damage. Do you know what?
It looks alright, doesn't it?
That actually looks really good. We haven't got any damage here. What is it?
This is what we need to be looking at, is here, where it meets the tub.
Yeah, it looks like there's no movement. It
used to be green.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Could have been green in the past.
Oh, well, that looks alright.
Yeah.
Looks fresh.
That does look nice, doesn't it?
My arm looks like it's going to live another day.
Yeah, that's how they come from McLaren. It's aero arms for DRS. Yeah.
Oh.
So that works.
That's for less drag?
Yeah, so it works in conjunction with the rear spoiler.
Right.
And then when DRS turns on, those arms then squat down and then they go straight.
Oh, what, straight back out?
Yeah, they straighten out with downforce.
Because it's got that much aero, the DRS is in at the minute.
Yes.
So that's what.
So when it activates, that'll re-straighten.
Ah, that's mad. McLaren.
Ahead of the lead in the game, man. First McLaren problem spotted. We have an oil leak from the oil return for the turbo, it looks like. Yes, it is, so we'll need to get that sorted.
There's another spring.
What?
Oh, careful.
Did you get that out?
Not a spring this side.
There you go. Well, it's safe to say we're going to need a lot of parts, so if you do have McLaren 650S parts, please get in touch with me ASAP, because I need to buy some stuff. Got one slight worry, which is round here on this turbo. because the drain on this one actually looks okay, but it seems to be leaking oil out of the V-band for the exhaust.
Do you know what that means, though?
It means there's oil inside
Bigger
the turbo.
turbo spars and brake horsepower.
We all know how that goes with McLarens, big boom, so
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely going to need to whip them turbos off when we get the engine out and get them revamped, I think. Now, we're going to do our best to try and see if we can get this car back on the road, but I'm sure, apart from repairing it, there's going to be loads of faults which need sorting, and we're going to have to try and fix. And I'm sure a few of those are going to be stored in the ECU, and there's a great way that we can check on that. And that is with OBD11. It is a pocket-sized OBD2 reader. This works with any car fitted with an OBD2 port, but works best on BMWs, Minis, Rolls-Royce, Toyota, Lexus, and any VAG Group car. Now, using that, you can plug into your car's OBD2 port and then read all of the information off the ECU to see what faults you might have. But on top of that, on those cars are listed, you can also turn on one-touch applications to make your car more individual and personal for you and activate cool features that you never knew you had. And they've also got loads of deals on for Black Friday, so you can save up to 40% on some of their bundles, so make sure to go and check them out using the link in the description to go and grab yourself an OBD11 device and take control of your car and start diagnosing and also turning on cool features too. I always like to make my life as hard as possible, but if you don't push yourself, there's no fun in it. There's no point in repeating the same thing over and over again, so we've got to go for bigger and bigger challenges every time, and this is that.
As broken cars go, it's well broken.
So now we have lots of work to do, and you can see that this car really has been neglected.
Cool, that's really lipped up, dude.
Is it bad?
Really bad. And there's look how much mate's left on the brake pad. Yeah.
It doesn't look in a good way.
No, it don't. I think it's done a few miles.
And my mission with this car is get it back to the condition that it was in before it was crashed for the first time, which is going to be really, really hard to do, especially considering all the track miles it's done as well. So the plan of action now, I think, is get the body panels off. We really want to inspect the rest of the tub. We're happy with it underneath. We just need to have a look at the other mounting points for the subframes and stuff like that to make sure the tub is actually okay. Because if it is, we're on. If it's not, it's a bad day. Oh. That is mashed.
Yeah.
Nice. So now we've got one rear quarter off and the rear bumper and crash bar. It's just the other quarter to come off, and then the back end is fully exposed. Oh, that came off lovely.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is broken. I'm on it.
Wherever that.
Don't know why I was expecting that to come down with a massive thud. This car has been so neglected, bless it, and I want to just give it a good life. It's come home now, isn't it? This is it. It's like it's going to have a good life from now. Done.
First time opening.
Crunchy. Definitely need a new one of these.
Got a little bracket there, it's Ben.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Needs a bit of a clean though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Those chassis legs look good.
Look, this one's got an ABS pump.
But for now, I'm going to put the battery on charge because we just want to try and get a bit of ignition. I'm not too phased about starting it at the moment because I'm a bit scared to do that, but...
Dude.
It just smells very musty. I've got aero switch. This is cool, man.
I think it's got an ECU fault, dude. Yeah. Mclaren service centre.
Yeah.
Nice. Got a little computer board.
Sorry, something came out of here when I was starting.
He just swallowed half a McLaren.
Vehicle limp home. It's not happy. But now to get the other quarter off, we need to lower the roof or try and figure out a way to do it because it doesn't want to go down. Still nothing on the roof.
No.
That's one to figure out then, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do we get the roof down and why won't it go down is another point.
Swap the other.
But whilst Mickey works on figuring out how we're going to get that quarter off and get the roof down, I'm going to pull all the panels off the front end, which is pretty easy. That'll go another day, wouldn't it? There is something else I want to look at, because you can see quite clearly that the reason why the roof is all twisted up is because there is a dent here in the top of the windscreen in the roof, which is a nasty place to have it because, well, it's probably been on its roof. So it's not good. But what I think is the case with this is you may have a replaceable section to go around the windscreen, but I can't see it at the moment, so I need to pull off this broken A-pillar trim. I think this is just bonded on, so I reckon that could be saved. You can feel it on the inside. So these McLarens are assembled with essentially a roll bar around the windscreen, and on this one it is slightly bent, so we need to try and figure out how we're going to sort that. So I've stripped down the A-pillar trims on the outside and on the inside too, but really this roof needs to come down so we can inspect the damage properly. And after hours of trying, Mickey finally got the back hatch released, and then we could figure out how to release the roof and lower it manually. So this roof works with hydraulic rams to lower and raise the roof, but now obviously we can't use the electrics or hydraulics to lower it, so we're going to have to try and disconnect those rams from the frame and then pull it down. Now we couldn't get the latches to release either, so we had to unbolt these. And it still wouldn't come down, but after hours of scratching our heads and trying to figure this system out, eventually we got it. Yes! Check
the rams.
Day 2 on the McLaren, and, well, we're still not 100% sure the fate of this car, but what we do know is we can do some more digging. So, job 1 for today, get this interior cleaned out a bit because it's full of glass from the windscreen, and we really want to see what we can do with the roof around the A-pillars and see what the plan is there, if that's repairable, and in order to do that, cleanup is necessary. And in order to do the best job possible on that, we're going to pop the seats out because, well, they've got to come out anyway, so it makes sense to do it now. Just had the first win of the build because this is the key that we got with the car and it's missing the back, which I'm sure is pretty expensive. Now, after taking the seat out, I've found the carbon key cover.
Oh, it needs a little bit.
It needs a little bit of an attachment, but we've got it. Well, now you can see how hanging this interior is. Not only is it full of glass, it's also full of grass, I'm guessing, because my theory is it rolled over in a field, which would have got all of the grass and glass inside. The A-pillar here is bent down. To me, that is bad news because, well, it really needs replacing. But Mickey, our insurance certified repairman with how many years of experience?
About 30.
About 30 years of experience reckons we can save that. Now, if we can save that, not only does it make time a lot easier, it reduces cost.
Yep.
But
it bends one way, it'll bend back.
that is science.
That is science.
So we're going to try and save it, and if it doesn't get saved, then hopefully we can replace it if there is a way of doing so, which is, we're unsure at the moment, aren't we?
That is not carbon.
That ain't carbon.
It's metal, so metal bends.
Okay.
Carbon breaks.
So we're going to take a bunch of measurements, make sure this is going to line up right. Well, I'll tell you what, let's put it this way. We're going to put Mickey's skills to the test and see if he can save me potentially a huge job and a huge cost on this McLaren.
Right, let's have a go. We're going to use the ramp to start with.
Okay.
See what happens.
Right.
As you can see, look. It's bending.
I can hear it doing stuff.
That was really, really tight there.
Oh, okay.
And wide here. But I think that's coming up quite a lot, actually.
Yeah? How's that looking?
What do you reckon? Have a look at the fella.
It looks a lot better.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. See how much movement it's got then.
Lovely. Looking at it straight on, mate, that ain't a million miles out. We're about a quarter of an inch out.
So Mickey kept on working his magic, slowly moving the metal back into shape bit by bit. He was also trying to make sure that he matched the natural bow of the roof because it's not perfectly straight all the way across. Each measurement will be different from each different point. And in order to get those points, he used the rivets which are exactly symmetrical from side to side across the top. And because the floor pan on this car is perfectly flat and it's made of carbon so it can't twist, he can use that as his bottom measuring point to go off as well. We are 97 on the dot.
97 on the dot. And the opposite rivet here.
And that is
97 on the dot.
Can you just twist the tape this way a bit, just to show? There we go, 97. Hey, fair play.
It ain't bad, is it?
You're the man, you are the man. But like we said, we don't know it's going to be 100% perfect at this point.
Once we've got a straight frame on the roof.
We need a new roof, and then that will give us a much better idea.
Yeah, I think it's a win.
Round of applause for Mickey, everyone, because that for me would have been game over almost.
Yeah, no, I think it's alright.
Yeah, I think we are alright. Okay. We're fingers crossed at this point that there's no damage to the carbon tub, because if there is, that can be game over for this VIN number, really, can't it?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. But,
so
we've got our fingers crossed.
Fingers are crossed.
That the tub's not broke.
Hopes are high, and if we're clear there, we're on with this project. Right, now I said at the start of this video, this has to be the cheapest McLaren that's ever been sold. And like these retail for like 90 grand-ish, I think. Does that sound about right?
I think it's about 90 grand, yeah.
Something around that mark. And normally for a crash car, I expect to pay like 40 to 50% of the full worth of the car in its crash condition, I think is a fair rule these days, especially on performance cars anyway. But this one wasn't 45 grand. It wasn't 40 grand. It wasn't 30 grand. It wasn't even 20 grand. This is like one of the cheaper cars I've bought, to be fair, by a significant way anyway.
Cheapest supercar you'll ever buy.
I think it might be. I paid £19,300 for this McLaren. Now, it hasn't got the best history, but it's still a McLaren and it's still got potential, so I think it is worth saving this car. I think we can turn it into something not only better than it was before it was crashed, but even cooler than when it came out of the factory potentially.
Make it really fast.
And that. I think I got a good deal. Well, I suppose we'll see when we're further through repairing it, because some of these parts are expensive.
20 grand for a McLaren, unbelievable.
Mate, even if I can say I've owned a McLaren for 20 grand, I've done alright. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I know it's not a good car at the moment, but I think it's got good potential in it.
Nice.
So it's time for us to remove the final panels which are hiding all of the parts which we need to see, and we can do our final inspection and see if we feel like this car is one that's worth fixing. Now, what we want to see is if this tub is damaged, because if it is, this project's a non-starter, but if it's not, we're on. And underneath, this is the main mounting point to the tub, which strangely enough the tub is green, but I think that might be some sort of bonding.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe the car's been green in a past life, we don't know. But anyway, that's one of the main bolts into there. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. So those bolts there with the blue and green markings, they are the ones which mount the frame to the carbon tub. And then this one, untouched. I think the damage basically stops about here.
Yeah.
We've got a slight crumple in this frame section, which is then folded here, but then instead of breaking at the weld, it's broke just before it, which means that everything that way afterwards looks good, and then that gives us like a foot and a bit where there is no damage, which then means that the tub itself is protected. I think we're looking okay. We're looking okay.
So we only have 1 point left to check, and that is the mounting point for the subframe up top on the passenger side.
I think we're on.
We're
never going to know properly until we rip it out.
No.
But on first inspection, I think we've got ourselves a project.
Yeah, I do.
So on first inspection, it looks like on the surface of things that we have a McLaren 650S, which is worth repairing.
Cool.
Let's get it on.
Well, if you're excited about the McLaren project, as excited as me and as excited as Mickey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and I'll catch you next time.